let me give you the instruction here. My book is available at bcbank.se/books. So it is the first book. Okay, you go to bcbank.se/books. That's where you're going to find my website. So I'm going to be reading you portions of my book. Okay, Echo in the Digital Void. And this is how it starts. Echo in the Digital Void, the second digital gold rush. How a $20 verification fee and a volunteer spirit could unlock a fortune in the next $1 trillion fintech revolution. Forward. The echo in the digital void. In the silent early days of the internet, a transaction occurred that would echo through history. On a forum thread amidst lines of code and speculation, 5,050 units of a new digital asset called Bitcoin were traded for $5 and 0.2 cents. The price per unit, a barely perceptible 0.0099 cents. The people involved weren't Wall Street titans, they were curious pioneers. They couldn't have known they were aching the first line of a new financial scripture. We look back at that moment from the dazzling height of the crypto age with a sense of mythic wonder. We call it luck, we call it genius, but mostly we call it a missed opportunity. What if the opportunity wasn't missed, but is in fact happening again, not in the form of a cryptic digital coin, but as a fully fledged revenue generating fintech and advertising empire with a clear path to global domination? What if the key to entering this new genesis wasn't complex mining software, but a simple 11-step verification process and a $20 act of faith? The book is your map to the opportunity. It is the story of CashChat Limited, a company built not just on technology, but on community, a legion of early employees and volunteers who will be rewarded not with salary, but with ownership. The asset is not a cryptocurrency, but a finite class of private shares available today via PayPal and CashChat wallet procurement, echoing the first historic Bitcoin purchase. The 2009 moment is not a lyric, it is a blueprint. This is your invitation to build the future and own a piece of it. Turn the page and let's begin. Now, what to expect in the book content, chapter outline and the content. Chapter 1, The Sound of a Paradigm Shifting, October 2009. A vivid narrative recounting the new Liberty Standard Exchange. It focuses on the human element, the hesitation, the excitement, the sheer novelty of buying something intangible with PayPal. It poses the question, what separates those who act from those who watched? That is chapter 1. We go to chapter 2. The African Genesis, where M-Pesa met ambition in 2016. The origin story of CashChat. This chapter explores the revolutionary impact of M-Pesa in creating a mobile-first economy in Africa. It introduces the bold cashers as the visionary force that saw the potential to scale this model globally, planting the seed for CashChat in 2016. That is chapter 2. We go to chapter 3. In the book, You find the book at bcbank.se/books. Chapter 3: The Incorporation: Forging a Global Entity in 2020. Amidst a global pandemic that accelerated digital adoption, CashChat Limited was formally incorporated. This chapter details the strategic decision to become a structured corporate entity, ready to attract serious investment and building a lasting legacy. Chapter 4: The Beating Heart: The CashChat Bank Digital Wallet. A deep dive into the core utility product. This chapter explains the wallet, cashchatbank.com, as more than an app. It's a global financial passport, a gateway to investment, a remittance tool, and a vault for future dividends. It's the foundational layer upon which everything is built. Chapter 5: The Digital Athena, the CashChat AI powerhouse. Meet the intelligence behind the operation. This chapter personifies the AI, explaining its role in optimizing ad sales, personalizing user feeds, securing transactions, powering customer service, and providing data-driven insight for the entire platform. It is the indispensable engine of efficiency and growth. Chapter 6: The Revenue Juggernaut, the 200,000 strong ads army. The massive decentralized advertising sales force. This chapter explains the role of ad agents, securing clients, uploading campaigns, analyzing performance, and moderating content. It emphasizes the powerful 20% direct commission model and showing how volunteers can generate significant immediate income while building the company's value. Chapter 7: The Physical Bridge, the Wallet Agent Ecosystem. Connecting the digital cash economies, this chapter outlines the critical role of wallet agents. It explains the requirement for a security guarantee starting at $250 as a sign of commitment and a risk management tool. It details the function facilitating cash in and cash out, generating payment requests, and serving as the local face of CashChat. Chapter 8: The Exclusive Exchange, the members-only trading platform, www.bcbank.se. Your portal to ownership. This chapter guides the reader through the private share trading platform. It emphasizes its exclusivity for verified area employees only, and its function as a peer-to-peer market where price discovery begins. Chapter 9: The Asset Class C Shares, your key to 50% of the empire. The heart of investment thesis. This chapter breaks down the math. 1 million shares equals to 50% of the company at $50 per share. At $50 million valuation. At issuance, 30% per share, that is the Class C share. It explains that owning these shares is owning a piece of an entire ecosystem. The AI, the ads network, the wallet agents, the API, everything. Chapter 10. These are just outlines. The living valuation, the auto-adjusting share mechanism. A crucial innovation, this chapter explains the transparent real-time link between company performance and share price. The auto-adjusting feature for every $50,000 in increased valuation ensures early believers are rewarded fairly and immediately for the growth they help create. Chapter 11. The rewards for ownership, direct dividend distribution. Painting a picture of the payoff. This chapter describes the future process of profit distribution. It vividly illustrates the experience of seeing dividends payment from the company's global revenue stream alive directly into your CashChat Bank wallet, creating a powerful source of passive income. Chapter 12: The Fixed Income Fortress, the 15% government-backed bond investment. A chapter on security and steady growth. The chapter, the investment process within the wallet app. The blue wallet button sequence. It explains how CashChat leverages its scales to secure government bonds with returns over 15%, passing that fixed return onto its members as a safe, predictable investment option alongside the high growth shares. Chapter 13: The Global Affiliate Network, the $12 user acquisition engine, harnessing the power of community growth. This chapter outlines the affiliate program where members earn 20% dollars for every verified user they bring on board. It frames this not just as a cash reward, but as a fuel that can be used to acquire more shares, accelerating one's own investment journey by growing the network. Chapter 14: The Grand Vision, the 100 billion African data center fundraise, the catalyst for a quantum leap. This chapter frames the $100 billion fundraise for 10% equity, not as a fantasy, but as a strategic necessity. Building an independent African data center is positioned as a move for technological sovereignty, unmatched security, and limitless scalability, which will convince institutional investors of its immense value. Chapter 15: The Trillion Dollar Equation, from $30 to a Bitcoin level value. The persuasive mathematical climax. It does the calculation of $100 billion for 20%, implying a $1 trillion valuation. And a $1 trillion valuation means the Class C share block, 50% of the company, is worth $500 billion. And dividing $500 billion by 1 million shares, it is equal to $500,000 per share. This chapter compellingly argues that this journey from $30 is the modern equivalent of Bitcoin's journey from 0.00099 cents. So I have read only 15 chapters of what you're going to expect from my book, Echo in the Digital Void. So the book is available right now. You can go and buy a copy. It's I think just $20. You can go and buy a copy from bcbank.se/books. Right now, the offer is just at $20. So the price is going to go back to its right price. The book is $200, but right now the first 1,000 copies, I'm releasing them at $20. After I have sold 1,000 copies, the book is going to go back to $200 per copy. So go and buy your copy now and then read the entire book. I've just read 15 chapters of the book, and go and enjoy the rest. I can assure you, I think I have revealed a lot in this book. Reading this book will really open your eyes. You'll understand things better, that opportunities are daily around us, but we just don't embrace them. Read this book, you will enjoy it. I can guarantee you that. So thank you guys for supporting. I have other books that you are going to find on this page. My first book was Influencing Success. My second book was The Wealth Mindset. And the third book is The Investment Communities, Entrepreneurs Over Politicians. And in that book, I show you that what Africa needs today is not more political organization. That is not the problem of Africa. So that book, Entrepreneurs Over Politicians, in that book, I reveal how entrepreneurs rescued the United States. There was a time when the US was about to crash, and entrepreneurs like Morgan Stanley, they played a big role to ensure that the company, the nation, that giant nation, the United States, remained afloat. So in that book, I reveal that Africa does not need any more political organization. What Africa needs is investment communities. Okay, and to ensure that what I shared in that book really stands until today. You've seen what has happened in Nepal recently. I think it even happened in, they say, Indonesia, how students went and burnt their nation. Okay, so while we see countries in the US like billionaires increasing by over 101 billion in one day, in poor, struggling countries, they are burning the little that they have in the name of being political heroes. Okay, so developing countries and Africa do not need any political heroes. They don't need uh, any more political organization or parties. That's not the problem for Africa. And I shared it boldly in my book. What Africa needs is investment communities. If Africa come together, if Africans come together, not to oppose, not to riot, not to protest, not to grumble, not to complain, but to build by putting their resources together. That is the only way Africa is going to be transformed. There is no good leader who's going to drive Africa out of their bad conditions, because we have already seen one leader who came out and did everything good for his country, and they later murdered him like the worst criminal ever. You heard the story of Gaddafi. So there is no leader who is going to do anything and make anybody happy for good. That is an illusion. What is going to transform Africa is when Africans own everything they have. If they have shares in the companies in their countries, it means they will not ban the companies. You see what happened? This year we have seen like two major protests in the United States. A large number of people, more people than the population of, I think, more people than the population of, which country is this? These people that just burnt their country, Nepal. The people that protested in the United States during the time when Iran was bombed and during the time when Elon Musk suggested the Doge, the number of people that protested in the United States was more than the population of Nepal. But they never destroyed their buildings, they never destroyed their companies, they just marched. Do you know why they didn't? Because when you talk about Microsoft, each of those people that were moving, they had a piece of Microsoft. When you talk of Apple companies, each of those people that were protesting, I mean, many among those people were protesting, they had a share in Apple. When you talk about Tesla, many of those people were protesting, they are the ones that built Tesla. It was their money. They came together, they brought their little resources, and Tesla was able to raise the money that they need to build that company. So they could not destroy what belonged to them. But if you think that a leader is going to come and build roads, come and build hospitals, and build schools, and build all the other infrastructures, when you become pissed off, you are going to destroy them. You know why? You did not feel any cost of having those things in place. So for you, they will not be valuable to you. But if you own a stake in that hospital you want to destroy, if you see somebody in your group trying to throw a stone, you grab that person and crush them. Do you know what? They are destroying something which belongs to you. So the only thing which is going to transform Africa, according to what I wrote in my book, the third book, Entrepreneurs Over Politicians, if the African people come and put their resources together and buy their country from being indebted to IMF, being indebted to the Chinese, being indebted to the European Union, that is the only time, being indebted to Korea, being indebted to Japan, that is the only time transformation, real transformation will come to the African continent. And that system has already been built. It's already encrypted. The codes exist in the cash chat system. You don't know why this year alone, over 30 social media pages have been deleted on TikTok. Pages belonging to cash chat, a verified company, a company that was requested to submit all proof that they are a company, and they submitted all their proof, all the registration certificate, all the required documents, and they verified that the company is really legit. But they have deleted all 31 social media handles belonging to cash chat, including Facebook, deleting a page with over 76,000 members belonging to cash chat, claiming that the profile picture violated the Facebook community guideline. Now, after the appeal, they apologized that it was a mistake and they restored the image. But the page was never restored. So it was not a mistake, it was an intentional move. Not only that, the main cash chat developer account on which Bold Cashers was published in 2017, and Cash Chat was published in 2018, that developer account was deleted. Cash Chat Inc. It was deleted without any reason. It had an app with over 100,000 downloads. They just deleted it. And they did not stop there. The second developer account, which is Upside, that one they just made it invisible. Like they scrapped it off the platform. Why are these people like fighting? Because they are so intelligent. They know what cash chat stands for. They have gone through the code, they have seen the concept, they know what this weapon is. They know what this foundation is going to lead Africa to. But unfortunately, the Africans are sleeping. They are not aware. They are wasting their time on social media platforms. You know, somebody goes on a platform and they spend a whole day talking nonsense, discussing issues that are not going to bring any change, wasting time, forming groups, not for building, but for destroying, and they call themselves heroes. Now, that is the brainwash which is in the minds of the African people, but it crept in one piece at a time. When fools that destroy the things that belong to them end up being called heroes, now that is total calamity. So that's what is happening. So Africa does not need any more political organizations. The problem of Africa is not even good leaders. The problem of Africa, it is the habits of the African people. That is the African problem. Africans only come together if the problem which requires expenditure, is in place. They come together when they are wedding parties and bring their resources together to spend the resources on the wedding function. They come together in sad moments when maybe they have lost somebody and then gather their resources to spend them during the burial process. They come together when they are music event and then they go to entertain themselves. That is expenditure. That is the bad culture, not of the African people, but of the black race. Whether they're in the US, in Australia, anywhere, they have the same character. They only understand one thing: expenditure. If you are able to spend a lot of money, then they call you rich. And yet, these people who now, in fact, their intelligence, like I would say it is superior because their perspective is different. While these people are buying more shares, they are buying more shares. They are coming even in Africa, buying shares in companies like M-Pesa, buying shares in companies like Safe Borders. The rich, those that we call rich in quotes, they are letting those companies to buy shares in their own places. For them, they are putting their money on the account and they're just looking at it like this. People are coming, they are buying shares in Umemi. The rich in the country, they didn't own any in Umemi. They only understand throwing big parties, okay, going seeing a musician, and then they sponsor a musician. If an entrepreneur is struggling, you will not see them there. That mentality is what is going to keep Africa poor for a long time. The mentality. So our poverty is in our mindset. When you see a musician coming up, you give them money. When you see an entrepreneur struggling to put the company together, you are not concerned. And that's the difference between us and the billionaires of this world. Because when Elon Musk just coughed, I'm going to build an AI, just a word, they raised $18 billion in the first round. 18 billion. He had risen 18, he just raised up 18 billion. People came and said, oh, you want to build an XAI? Okay, here's the money. They brought the money. When Apple went public in 1980, people came and released money. And for your own information, in 1980, the naira was higher than the dollar. 1 naira, you could buy like 1 naira was equivalent to $1.2. So it means that 1 million naira was equivalent to $1.2 million. And at that time, when Apple released its shares to the public, each share was trading at $22. So it means at that time when we had billionaires in Africa, those billionaires had the ability to buy as many Apple shares as they could. Because just a person buying shares for 1 million naira today, that person would be richer than the richest African alive. If somebody in 1980 just bought shares for 1 million naira, he could be twice richer than, I think 3 times richer than the richest black person alive today. Did they understand?